maybe you'd be willing to help me in a very practical way for that young woman, for that young man, for that any aged man or woman, that individual who grew up under, purity culture, and they're waiting for true love. They've promised the perfect spouse, and yet here they are, single and feeling this lack of wholeness. Speak to that person for a moment. What do we say? How do we encourage them?
Well, I think there's lots of things we got to hold there. One is that your value isn't in finding a spouse. That isn't what makes you valuable. It isn't, you're not actualized then as a man or a woman when you're married. It isn't in a particular role as a wife or as a mother or father, but that you're valuable and whole now. But then at the same time, I think we need to recognize if there is pain and loneliness there, as a single person, we need to not pretend that as married people, there isn't pain and loneliness there sometimes too, And so I think that is a false message that we give. Now, married people may experience, definitely experience more intimate companionship in a healthy marriage. But singles should have opportunities for intimate companionship as siblings in Christ. And they should be so valued for that in the church. And they have so much to contribute and to give. Just because they don't have a spouse doesn't mean you can't invite them to like whatever events you're doing, together. Like a lot of times I hear singles say like married couples get together all the time. And it's like, unless you have a +1, you're not invited. Or another thing I'm noticing too is singles who are in their 40s, they have wisdom for the church.
Absolutely.
And yet we often only look to like older married people for wisdom. So I just think that we should be seeking them out too. And they have different experiences than we do. And they also can look more objectively at things in our own lives that that we won't as much as we're in it, that we could get wisdom from. So I do think there's lots of different elements to it.
Absolutely. My wife and I, we often say, we've got 3 kids, 18, 15, 12, and we often say, we suck at parenting. Anything good that our kids have received have happened because of our co-parents. So we have 3 or 4 single women of different ages, different stages, who they just turn up at our home. They're at our dinner table. They do things with our kids. And they have helped us in profound ways because they point out, hey, when you speak this way to your son, boy, that could be really crushing. Maybe you don't intend that. Or, hey, the last time we came over for dinner, you also were in a bad mood or had whatever, but they're helping us be better.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So they're gifts, and we should be sharing from our own experiences together more instead of just like delegating them to the singles ministry, right?